Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. Well, it's hot and sunny here. The line is long and the lobby is closed at McDonald's. So, okay, what I'm doing now is I am not spending money. Very, very little money. I have food in my house. And the reason some people, they do their stockpile for in the future and it just sits there. But I eat mine. And so when I was doing hair, I was able to get by on these really low paying jobs. And people used to think I was cheating, you know, what is up? And I used to say, you guys see me do it every single day. But one of the things I would do is I would stockpile food. So say sometimes hairdressing can be slow for 3 months. I really feel sorry for some of the hairdressers. Some of the smart ones have been able to work though. But it would be slow sometimes for 3 months. I mean, we would have work, but it would be slow. But I would stockpile food, and so I could just eat my stockpile down. So that's what I'm doing now. So I want to talk to you guys about that. Okay, when I was a stylist, I was very lucky because, you know, I would meet all kinds of people, day in, day out, zillions of people. Sometimes I worked in the higher end shops, sometimes I worked in the lower end shops, and sometimes I worked in both at one time. So you might be thinking, well, I'm too old, I'm done for, I'm poor, that's all I'm screwed. Okay, I had this one guy, this older guy, and he was still working, and between the ages of 60 and 70, he bought himself a fairly cheap house out in the back country. And his kids said, don't do it, but he was determined. He had been working for 10 solid years to get this house. Opportunities to buy will come when this real estate market crashes. And so he had been working towards this goal for 10 years. And he said, it's really a dump. You know, we would talk, my customers and I, you know, we were not pretentious. We would talk, you know, we could be ourselves. I think that's why I always had a clientele. So anyway, he said, you know, my house is really kind of a dump and I didn't think I could live in there, but I'm in there and I'm living just fine. And so, you know, it took him 10 years, but you're going to go from the ages of 60 to 70 anyway. And then I had this lady for a client, hairstylist client, and she worked for this pretty wealthy guy. He was the contractor who put in the McDonald's. He lived here in El Cajon. And so she lived in, and she helped him take care of the daughter, clean the house, and cook. And she was very, very frugal. I mean, very frugal. I think she was Hungarian. Her name was Helen. And she was really just so nice to be around. And what she had done is she had done caregiving for the wealthy people. And so she would be paid, but it also wouldn't cost her anything to live because, you know, she was doing the in-care patient. And I remember she would wait until the purses went on sale and she would buy every one in every color, like $5, and she would have them 5 years. And she would wash her car. She was a neat freak, you know, wipe it off and stuff. And she was telling me when her mother died, she was absolutely shocked at how much money her mother had accumulated, and each child was given a portion. So it was just by being frugal in both cases that they were able to make some pretty good progress when they were older. And I was talking to my son about myself, and I said, you know, this is very atypical what has happened here. I went from living over on this really terrible apartment. I lived there. I forced myself I'd still be living there. I showed you guys the video. I took it down because I didn't think it was very nice, and it wasn't. But it was pretty bad, you know. It was, to go from there to where I live now is totally atypical at my age. But I had been working for a while, you know, on this. And it was probably the work. So, it was nice because I went from a balcony, and now I have a nice backyard, and I have upstairs and a loft and a garage and a washer and a dryer. It's really nice. And I'm going to continue on in this vein. So now I want to talk to you. And I'm retired, so I don't have that much money. So how the heck can you do this? How can you save money? How can you get ahead? You're older. You know people do it. You go, well, how do they do it? Okay, I told you about my friend. She was really poor, pretty much poor. And sometimes she would work, and I said, well, why don't you work? And she always had an excuse, but it was probably a good excuse. But as soon as she would get her paycheck, she would go out for a $9 breakfast, which is a bad strategy when you're really, really poor. So now let's talk about, it's cheaper to eat at home. Let's talk about, people would say, you're spending money all the time when I worked. Well, I would buy a hamburger and a Coke. Sometimes I'd buy a Coke on the way to work. Sometimes I'd buy a Coke on the way home. But essentially, that was all the money I started. So let's take it at 2 days. Okay, so let's say, here's Monday. Let's say you're going to spend, I'm going to spend about approximately $250 a day. Monday, and let's just take Monday and Tuesday. Okay, now, I couldn't get into McDonald's, so this like busted my budget, but you'll see why this was $2.20. Whereas McDonald's would be $1, and you know, I could have two. But let's just say I have a budget of $250 a day. Well, basically, you know, for snacks. But other than that, I'm not spending any money. Now, when I'm not buying food on top of it, and I'm saving $1 a day gas money to give me a little extra stockpile of gas, then it's the same thing as the food. At some point, I don't have to, like, if I wanted to, I could buy gas with my little stockpile. And so you might go, well, that's minor. That is not, that isn't even worth thinking about. Well, let's just humor me for a minute. Okay, so on Monday you have $2.50 and you spend $2 and you have 50 cents left. On Tuesday, you have $2.50 and you spend $2 and you have 50 cents left. Or, you know, if you didn't spend anything, you'd have $5. This is why the $9 is so destructive, because for 4 days you could have had some snacks. You could have bought some crackers and a Coke or 2 Cokes, but no, you have 4 days. You spent your $9, probably with a tip, so you want to avoid that. Okay, so now on Wednesday, you have your $2.50 and you have $1 left from your Monday and Tuesday. So on Tuesday, you have $3.50 and you spend $2 and you have $1.50 now left over. And on Thursday, you have $2.50 and you spend $2, and so you have 50 cents. So you go over here to Thursday, and at Thursday, you have $4.50 instead of $2. This is only by 50 cent increments. Some days you might not spend any. And then on Friday, you have generated, you spend $2 if you're $2.50 and you have 50 cents, so you have $5. So on Saturday, you would have $2.50. You spend $2 and you have 50 cents. That's $5.50. And then, so at this point, you can see you have almost 2 extra days of spending money just by saving that 50 cents. And on Sunday, you have, say you have $2.50 and you spend $2, so you'd have about $6 plus your gas money. This is really messy, but anyway, it kind of gives you the idea, right? So at the end of the week, you have your $7 gas money and you have about $5 or $6. So you have $13, which is basically almost the whole next week of spending money, plus you have your spending money. So that's why if you want to buy a $2 Coke as opposed to a $1 Coke, you can. Now, so you get the idea, I hope. Okay, so now, you keep your car full of gas, so you don't really need the gas money. So if, say, you wanted to go out and buy some McNuggets one day, you could use your gas money. Nothing would happen. And furthermore, you have food storage, so you don't have to keep buying groceries, taking that out of your budget. So let's say your grocery money is $30. Week number 1, you say, okay, I need some carrots, some lettuce, some tomatoes, I need some, anyway, so say you need $5 or let's say $10. So you have $20 left. The next week you have $50 of food money. And you don't spend that because you have the food storage. So now let's say the next week, and you've seen me do it, you go, well, this week I'm going to spend $20 on dented cans, things like that. And so you have $30 left. You have your original $30 gas money. So see how that stockpile really, really helps you? And so then let's say you have some goals, like you say, okay, between the age of 60 and 70, I want to get myself somewhere where I'm not paying that much money on rent. I want to get somewhere cheaper. So you put it into your back of your mind, well, how can I do this? Well, like in my case, I had to leave the one place involuntarily. It was really cheap, but it was really awful. And then the second place I left because I went to the better place. And I could stay there for quite a while. But while I'm here, I'm thinking, okay, what can I do next that's really going to better my situation? So today, all I have to do is wash the car. It's very bad. And walk 2 hours. If you're older, if you can just get the idea that your health is the most important thing. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. And God bless you all.